All right, welcome to the Contractor Sales Academy podcast. Steve, Derek, what's going on today, guys?
Well, like Derek, I'm on the roller coaster, man. Going up, going down.
Roller coaster's back.
Yeah. And,
Roller coaster. What's that about?
Derek and I, we have what I would call fat genes. We just have them, man. When we eat, we can gain 25 pounds. Literally, give me a couple of months, and I could be up 25 pounds
Easily.
And then it takes us 3-4 months. If we really are diligent, we can lose those 25 pounds. But we're not consistent. And the truth of the matter is, this is our topic of the day, is consistency. And this is a business group, but God damn it, it's exactly the same as weight loss. And in your relationships and in your tracking and in your sales and in your business, if you're not consistent, man, in business, if you're not consistent, your employees look at you and go, what the man, this guy's all over the place. He's up 25 and he's down 25.
Yeah.
I mean, in the business, it's the same shit.
And as you say that, like the tracking side of it too, there's to be consistent, because I'm using a calorie counter, and we were sharing just a few minutes ago how I can manage my calories based on what dinner I'm going to have, what lunch I'm going to have. And I can look at this and I can enter the stuff in. And it's like, I know if I hit this amount of calories, I can lose 1.5 pounds a week or however I get to adjust it. But I have to go, all right, let me look at my calorie counter. And it reminds me, which is great. It's like, enter your calories. But the other part too is like, okay, well, I can get ahead a little bit. If I go out and I get some steps in, may do a 3-4 mile hike or walk. Well, hell, I just burnt like 400 or 500 calories. So now I've got some wiggle room. So it is that consistency and that tracking that really makes sense. What's funny is when we get fat, we gain that 25 pounds, we're consistently eating, and but it's a free for all. And then it just goes to, well, you don't feel good and you don't look good, and it's just your attitude changes and it's everything. So just like you're saying, Steve, I mean, that really is the ebb and flow in business, and like the sales process, why you have to follow a sales process, why you have to follow any sort of process in your business for your team members, standard operating procedures. They like that. They like to know what the hell's going on instead of, oh, hey, morning guys. How about we, nobody's doing that, right?
So this whole calorie thing with you reminds me, you guys know this, the RAS, the reticular activating system, right, in our brain that we've talked about before, which in a nutshell, whatever we assign importance to, we get more of, right? One way or the other. If you assign importance to potato chips, you're going to gain some weight. And in the sales world, if you assign importance and are consistent to increasing your sales, your mind is on it, right? Your radar's on it. And the way you guys do that with the weight thing is you track it.
Yep.
Right? You're just consistent in the tracking, which is why you've had the progress. And I'm talking to you two right now. And really all three of us here in our own respective areas, we're all running successful businesses right now that make money every day because we focus on making money in sales every day. So that's kind of what I think the correlation here, why we're talking about the calories and how does this apply to sales. What do you guys think, like Derek, Steve, for the weight loss thing, you consistently track your calories, you consistently move your body, right? Put that into the sales world. What are a couple things we need to be implementing consistently in order to have the results that we want there?
Well, yeah, it's funny, just the overall thing. You're right. Sales is the calories. Sales is fuel for the company. Like calories is fuel for your body. If you don't have calories, ultimately you'll die. If you don't have sales, your company will die. And so to me, sales is basically a couple of things. One, it starts, you got to generate the lead. So you got to be smart about marketing. We could talk a year about that shit, number one. So because what we particularly coach is to have such an open, honest conversation with the customer on the phone before you go wasting any time out at their home, that you have to have confidence that you have enough leads to burn. Because if you're only getting one lead a day or one lead a week, your tendency is going to be to go tap dance in front of every lead. And as we all know, more than most of them waste your time.
Right.
Because they're not your customers. So marketing and generating leads in a smart way. And in my company, we spend 100 grand a year in this one just to generate leads. I pay a marketing company $100,000 a year and I only got a $1.5 million pond company. So there's a relationship. You know, I spend big money to get my phone to ring, so I have the balls to stand up to these people and not go running out to see them.
Well, before I need to jump on my my webinar, I just want to say in correlation to all of this, it's that you got to have it all coming in, but when you have a sales process like a diet or anything else, a consistent program, it actually, so what, like if I'm losing weight, well, it actually inspires other people too. So kind of the same thing with the sales process. If I'm consistently going through my sales process, my team is aware of it too. They hear it. We role play within my company. So there's a consistent pattern there. So whenever they're talking to any prospects, like if it's a past customer, current customer, whatever, they still follow the same thing because it's so consistent that it stays in there. So it really does. If you're going to be successful at anything, you have to have consistency, good or bad. In a relationship, same thing. And Steve touched on that. I mean, it's in your relationships. If you consistently do the things that your spouse, your significant other is expecting, well, you're going to be rewarded in certain ways.
Yep. Well, a lot of people, if you just think fitness, and this makes sense with the sales process, people jump on an exercise plan or a diet plan.
I'm out, guys. Let me go do this.
Okay. They jump on there, Steve, and when it gets challenging or tough, they change it up. They don't follow the plan anymore. They don't follow the exercise plan, the diet, whatever. And they're always changing the plan. And the same thing with sales. If we don't have a consistent plan that we're working, it's going to be really hard to be successful. So that's where the consistency comes in.
Yeah. Well,
You got to give the plan time to work, right?
Yeah. There's another thing is we lose focus sometimes. We get so busy in one area of the company, of the business, that we let the other part slide. And we see this all the time. We see these people come into our group, they get all hyped up and they start killing it in the whole sales department. Then they go dark. And then 2 months, 3 months later, they come back and it's always come back with their tail between their legs because they said, you know, I got so much work, I had to go out in the field or I had to go run the bit, whatever. And then they drop the ball on the sales part or the marketing part. And then all of a sudden, you know, this stuff is a lagging indicator. It tells you the future rather. You know, if you just slide backwards, man, you're going to go just be in the same rut you are right now. And so you got to keep your foot on 10 pedals at once. You know?
Well, and I think the master pedal is sales coming in the door because, you know, when you have enough money coming in the door, those other pedals are easier to push because you don't have to push them. You can hire people to push them. That's where guys they don't scale, right? They don't get out of their own way because they break your cardinal rule of don't mess with the money every day. You always have your don't mess with the money time, whatever that looks like in your business. And that could be, you know, making a deposit, you know, getting a signed contract, returning a follow-up call, you know, your sales calls. Like, I'm blown away by how many contractors I hear that are like, yeah, my phone's ringing off the hook and I don't have time to call them back. Like, they're blowing off the money shit, and that's going to affect them. You know, that's the compound effect, right? Eat a donut a day, you're fat in a few years, right? It's the same thing. You don't sell every day. The compound effect of that is going to come back and bite you down the road in your business. And that's why so many guys are in the same spot they are year after year.
So I just feel like saying this right now, Tom. I just want to tell these people what we do and why we do it. What we do is two things when you come into our group. One, we are going to teach you how to sell so you're not wasting your time with those who don't want to buy from you. You're going to be able to identify and go out and get a deposit check from your customers. Okay. Yep. Number two, we're going to teach you about mindset, about being okay to run your business just that way, being okay making certain decisions, asking certain questions of people. So it's like, you know, currently we're sort of talking about the difference between the poor person's mindset versus the rich person's mindset. And it truly, is the way you think comes first and the money comes second. Sales is the same way. The way you think about sales, and that's what we teach you, the mindset about sales, that comes first, and then the sales, and then the jobs, and then the money all starts to flow after that.
Yeah.
So that's the two most important things you're going to get when you come into our group.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I posted in the group and a few other places, Instagram, social media, but it was just kind of my thought of the day when I started my day yesterday, I think it was, that your income is simply an indicator of your mindset. It's
100%.
that simple, right? Your income is an indicator of your mindset. And I mean, dude, we've heard it how many times? Oh, you can't get that in my area, you know? And another Facebook right now, there's this debate going on that you can't sell swimming pools and get a 50% gross profit. And then guys were like, well, I do. And then another guy was like, well, where do you live? Because, you know, and it started this whole thing. And what people don't understand is it all starts between the ears, man. You know, the reason that one dude can't fathom getting a 50% or better gross profit installing a swimming pool is he simply doesn't believe it's possible. And that's the limiting factor right out of the gate.
Yep. And you're right. And you just got to believe it's possible. You got to attach yourself with a group of people that not just believe it, but they're doing it.
Yep.
And that's what we do.
Well, dude, we need that, don't we? We need other examples. I mean, we were talking about this in our own company meeting today about how we need to do a better job of imitating people that are successful in our industry here with coaching. Like it's easy to lose track of that. And we overcomplicate it. You know, your friend and one of your mentors said to you, well, why aren't you just imitating more successful people? And you were like, you know, you've been in this game a long time and you lost track of that at some point, right? Just even if it was for a little while of time here, it's like, fuck, that's right. Let's just go imitate somebody, find out what they're doing and do it. No questions asked. Isn't that what we coach people to do? Come in here, trust the process, imitate with the successful people before you have done, and just trust that. Even if that's where your mindset is, like, hey, I don't totally buy in, I don't totally believe this, but I'm going to just trust that it's worked for other people. And when that happens, it's funny how quickly it starts to work for you. We've seen it over and over.
When you're open to being coached,
yep.
You know, I was a springboard diver, and then I was a coach. And every coach will tell you they would rather have the kid with no talent or very little talent, but a big heart and really, really like be a plus on the team than the kid with all the talent in the world and just be a negative Nelly piece of cancer on your team. You know, You have to be coachable. You have to be open to hearing a different way. Because let's just be honest, if what you are currently doing was kicking ass, you would not be listening to this podcast right now. Nobody who's kicking ass,
right,
killing it, is listening to this podcast right now. So if you're coachable and you're open and you're willing to implement this stuff we call the Shin Fu, which you'll learn in the group, it's a small price to pay to change your life.
Yes, it is. And I guess my challenge, Dave, before we get out of here, is if you're listening to this, whatever your limiting belief is in anything, you know, that I can't make this money, I can't sell the job for this, whatever it is, my challenge is take a minute and just consider and ask yourself the question, what if I'm wrong? Just be open. You don't have to fix the whole thing right now. You don't have to totally 180 your mindset today. Just take that one step and consider the possibility, hey, you know, I could be wrong. You know, maybe it is possible that I could do this. Guys, that's just the momentum you might need, is just open the door to the possibility that things could be done in a different way that will benefit you and your family for generations. So anything else?
Nope. Contractor Sales Academy. That's where it's at.
.com. All right, man. Hey, if you appreciate what we do here, what we bring you guys, give us a review, share it with another contractor. And Steve, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom.
Yep.